Service Lines community. How you all doing today?
Everyone should be having a good day today.
Can you hear
Especially
me? My camera switched. It lost complete connection to my camera.
right when we go live. Come on.
Dude,
I can
Tuesday was bad. Doug and I could not make technology work in my favor.
I can hear you.
Ah, good. Good, good, good. Well, if you didn't notice, we have a guest along with us, Mr. David Costanzo, down there in Florida.
Actually,
Actually,
technically in Atlanta.
yeah, I was gonna say, just about to say, technically in Atlanta today. So morning appliance repair solutions. Morning, TK.
Morning,
Missed you
TK.
yesterday, buddy. Adam, good morning. He's gonna join
Morning.
us some morning too. Adam reached out to me after Doug and I kind of threw him under the bus the other day and said, "Hey, why don't you come on sometime?"
That's one way to strong arm someone to get on. Good
Well,
job, guys.
he said he'd join us sometime. One day when the kids are off or whatever. You know how it goes. You got to drop the kids off or whatever. So we get it.
Yep.
Morning,
Morning,
EJ.
EJ.
It's a good topic. I don't know. This is my fourth day on the grind. I haven't done that in a while. Um, one of these other days, we were talking about, somehow we got on the topic of recession proofing your business. Like, have you been doing that? And so I figured expanding the topic, because we didn't really touch on the full question. We just kind of glossed over it. So I brought in some guys that have experience in making that possible. So it should be a good time.
Yeah, I mean, like recession proof, and then also, appliance repair is not so much like where you have like a massive slow season, but there are slower parts to it, and these are like some tactics that you can, take to even fill up those slower times, which, some people love the slower times because it kind of recharges their batteries because they're so used to go, 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 go. And they're like, it's kind of nice having like, 4 or 5 calls or getting off at 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon because it's so uncommon, when you have a small stretch, of that, just depending on, you know, your territory that you service. But you can, if you want to stay busy, full time, or you're trying to scale your business and of course grow. Of course, you don't really want to have like so much of that slower time when you have techs. So these are some things that you can implement in your business, to help steady that slow season.
You kind of want that time as a business owner. That's what Doug and that's what day it was. It was on Tuesday. That's what Doug and I were talking about. You want that time to recharge as a business owner, but you need, if you're trying to grow or scale a business or, recession proof your business, right? You're wanting to make sure that your technicians, David's case, your sales staff is staying busy. Um, you know, because people need to be able to put food on the table. So, morning, Josh. Sorry, I'm a little brain fried this morning, so it'll be good to have other people carrying the conversation here. We had a good marketing AMA. If you're an all access member, you had a chance last night to be a part of the Ask Me Anything with Mike Carson. It was a good time. We put it on a new platform and it worked out really well. We had some tables where people could continue the conversation. It wasn't really super crowded. People were able to actually talk amongst themselves. And we'll get that down mixed and put on the back end for our all access members. So it's good. Good conversation last night.
Yeah, I was about to hop on it, and that was right when my kiddos came home, and they were wild. And I know the second that I did that, and my wife sees me on my computer, yeah, then I get yelled at. She's like, "You had all day
Uh-huh.
to do all your office stuff because I've not worked at all this week. I have done office work just because last Thursday, when I had a complete brain fart and didn't have my alarm set, and I had to skip out on this, not knowingly, until I woke up at like 7:30 or 7 o'clock. Um, but I had a furnace install, and somehow I tweaked my back.
Oh.
And it's like that first time, because I'm young still. I'm still young still. I mean, I'm 32, so it's the first time like I actually hurt myself, where it's like I physically couldn't work, and I didn't want to push it either. Like I worked on Friday, and by like half day, my back like started locking up. I was having muscle spasms, and like that evening, like I was on the ground and I couldn't get up because any way I turned, my muscle would tense up. It was like a Charlie horse going up my back. And I was just like on the ground, life alert. My wife's like, I'm going to go get the kids. You can hang tight. I'm like, whatever.
Dude, so yeah, TK just brought this up. I think I'm the old man on this broadcast. That never happens. I'm usually the young gun, and here I am. I think I am the old man on this because David, you're younger than me too, I believe.
I don't know how old I am. I think I'm 34.
Yeah, you're younger than me.
TK, it's because I started when I was 16, running service, and then I opened my own business when I was 25, and so I've hit things a little earlier. But when you start hitting those 30s, you start getting a little bit of, I don't know, a little bit of aches and pains, I guess, from running service for so long, and being hunched over doing sealed systems, stuff like that, doing HVAC. But it is what it is. I'll survive. But it's been a good deal for my business on me being in the office, like full time.
Yeah.
I'm like surprised on how busy I've been, not even running a single call, and how busy it is in the office doing back end stuff, which is what I want to do. It's just we're normally always so busy. It's like, no, I got to catch calls too. So I got to split my time between the two. And now I'm like realizing like, man, there's a lot of work for me to do sitting at a computer.
You got some experience on that, right, David? You're third generation, right? Third generation, second generation.
Well, third generation.
Yeah.
Technically, my dad started it, but he had our grandparents involved in the business. So.
Yeah, that's what I thought. But you spend more time in the office now, right? Less time in the field, or are you still a lot in the field?
It depends on the week. I have weeks where I spend 3 days out in the field, 4 days out in the field. And then I have weeks where I'm strictly in the office. So I'd say about 50% of the time I'm in the office. I hate being in the office. The more I can be out in the field, kissing babies, shaking hands. That's what I love to do.
I just think back to ASTI and
sometimes the parents get
yeah.
Sometimes the parents get weirded out when I start kissing their babies, but
oh man almighty. That is funny right there. You want to pray us in, David? And then we'll dig in. We'll actually dig in.
So what'd you say?
Do you want to pray us in?
In the beginning part you cut out.
You having trouble hearing me? Do you want to pray us in?
Can you hear me? I'll pray us in.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Dear Heavenly Father, we want to thank you for giving us this time together as brothers in the field, whether we're technicians or owners or both. We want to thank you for this time that you give us together in brotherhood, that we can share experiences and stories to help each other get through another day in this grueling business. And Lord, we know that you're shining that light and getting us where we need to be day by day. And when we put it in your hands, we know that it will be taken care of. And we thank you for that and for taking that burden off of our shoulders. And it's in your name we pray. Amen.
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 Good old airport Wi-Fi. I think we're going to have to be a little gracious with Dave. He'll be a little lagged on that one. So today's verse I brought is Romans 12:15. Dance with the ones who dance for joy, and shed tears with the ones who've fallen to the ground. So if you missed it, our topic is, are you recession-proofing your business? Are you maximizing your profit? What are some of these things that you can do to make sure that you are taking care of yourself and your team along the way. And the two above me have quite a bit of experience in leading successful teams and running, very profitable businesses. So we've kind of shared some of the stuff, right? As far as like running, adding subscription service, right? Like, do you have a what do you call it? My brain just went blank, Travis.
Like a membership
Yeah,
program,
membership.
like yeah.
Or like Dave, are you selling appliances? Right. So there's multiple different ways that can that you can do these things. So I'm gonna let these guys kind of take the floor with their ideas, and I'll chime in here and there. But what have you guys found to be your most profitable or your most successful parts of your business as far as this goes? What are some ways people can begin to recession-proof their businesses?
Go ahead, Travis. I'm going to try to sign into Wi-Fi to give you guys some better audio.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, what I've done, and it's just been of recent, is to do the memberships and stuff, because of course I'm getting larger in air conditioning and heating too, which is a common, thing to do for that, but it also can go for appliance repair also. I have an appliance membership that's $100. The customer gets, it's for a full year. And we go ahead and go through all of their appliances to make sure that everything is in good working order. This is a perfect time. I set it up where we are doing it when we are finishing the job, so there's no extra trip. But it can be set up where you're setting all of those up in February or something. And what'll happen when you're going through all those appliances, you get a kind of chill and really talk to the customer, give them customer education on every single unit. And that's what I really enjoy about it. It's just that interaction between the customer. But you're going to find, hoses that should be replaced in washers. Washer hoses should be replaced every 5 years. You're going to find, old grungy hoses. You're going to find dryer vents that need to be cleaned. A dryer that just needs to be torn down and vacuumed and cleaned because of lint. There's just numerous things that you can add on to that ticket. So you're going out there, you're not just going out there for free after you sold that membership. You should be pulling a ticket amount, just going over, things on their unit. If you want to do a water heater flush, and add that to your deal, and say, hey, we can flush your water heater for X amount of money, and you can sell those memberships to retain those customers, and then give them a really good service in your slower time that will add a call and add profit to your business on the things that you sell while you go out there. You just don't want to go out there and not sell anything, say, oh, everything looks perfect. There's options that you can give the customers. Of course, you're going to have some that, just want you to look over everything and just get on out of there. But, the goal is to sell stuff while you're out there. So $100 might not seem like much, or anything like that, but that'll at least keep, maybe your guys busy, or if you're just a one-man show, it'll keep you busy during that slower time, where you're bringing in a little bit of money. That is one way that you can continue to bring profit into your business. And you can just say, hey, we'll call you every February to set up this service, or January, whichever month, you can start staggering them up. Our software keeps everything in line where we can just hit a button and it'll show us all of our members so we know which ones to call. But you can do like a Google Sheet or something, every member, when they signed up, and when you have to contact them to schedule those return visits.
Hey, Travis, what are the benefits of your program?
So every customer that signs up with it will get a 10% discount on repairs. Also, my standard warranty used to be a 3-year part warranty, 1-year labor warranty. So I wanted to kind of add some more meat on the bone on my membership. So I just have like a 90-day parts and labor warranty is my standard warranty. And then the members will get that 3-year part warranty, 1-year labor warranty, which just helps me sell that membership, and it also just it increases my average ticket. It's one thing that I wanted to. What can I do to increase my average ticket? Because of course, you want to make as much money as possible on each ticket. So that helps tremendously. Just having that extra warranty, added, and that's standard between all of my memberships. You get the 10% discount, and you'll get that extra part warranty. And it's a whole 1 year membership.
So Andrew's question, I believe you kind of answered this in what you do. It's part of the membership, right? So like when you go out and you do your maintenance checks or whatever for them, that's when you're replacing the fill hoses. It's built into the cost of their membership. Did I understand that correctly?
Yeah,
Is that
you'll get
like how you?
yeah. So if we find anything wrong, then we will go ahead and write up an estimate. That will be parts and labor. They will get that 10% discount. We're not going to do it labor free. The membership is just to do the evaluation. But if we find something wrong with it and stuff like that, then there's going to be added things. Of course, we also do HVAC. So right now I'm training my guys on to go out there and how to maximize, the profit for that call on doing the memberships, because then we can go into, hey, what's your air quality? What do you have in place on your house for your indoor air quality, on things that we can make it, better on, like a UV light. And this is stuff that appliance guys can do too. You guys can do indoor air quality. You don't have to have a license for it. You can install UV lighting. You can install a 4-inch, media filter. That's a HEPA filter, and you can get all of those supplies and sell those extras also. Just like you don't have to be a licensed plumber to do a water heater flush, or maintenance, on a water heater if you, want to do that also.
One of the ways that we did hoses, so like if we were going out to change a valve and say it was a 5-year-old washer, 6-year-old washer, something like that, and we were going out, we were doing a water valve or doing a dispenser box or doing something on a washer, we just build it into the cost of the parts. We'd build the cost of the hose into the cost of the parts, and that's how we were able to actually change the hoses, so we didn't have to deal with the headache of that. And the customer got the added value, and we still maintain profit in that. David, you probably, so when you sell, like say you sell a washer, you're selling it with the new hoses, and that's just built into the cost of the washer? Or?
So we kind of follow the industry on that, where we do an install kit that's required with every appliance that we sell. Any appliance that we install has to go with an install kit. It protects us for liability reasons. Even if, we've had customers that say, oh, well, my dishwasher's only a year old. I don't need a water line. And it's like, nope, sorry. We have to, when we install it, we have to put a new water line on it. So, we charge an install price, then we charge for an install kit, and then we charge for the machine itself.
Right. So those are simple things that you can do to, I mean, number one, it's protecting you in a liability sense, but number two, there's profit built into that, right? Like you're going out and doing this anyway, so you might as well get a little
There is, and we only started this a couple of years ago. Before that, we were reusing, their line cords on their dryers, or reusing their line cords on their ranges. And, we realized that, actually, I realized the big box stores were doing this. I went and, pretended to buy something from Home Depot, and they were like, oh, by the way, you have to buy these with it. And I was like, whoa, so I went through every big box store and saw every single one of them was doing that. So we mimicked it. And, from a liability standpoint, I was always worried about reusing a line cord or reusing a water line. Now we did that rarely, but, just taking that chance on it, you don't want that liability, and you don't want that to lose out on that profit either. So it's a way to keep you safe, the customer safe, and profit on it. And I think that goes for Travis's membership program, or, we have a maintenance program. If it's good for the customer, it's good for the business, and it's good for the technician, then it's a go. That's kind of my my rule of thumb with everything in business is, if it's good for the employee, the business, and the customer, then you do it. Even if it's a short-term loss to the business, if you can justify a long-term gain, then you do it. Sometimes that means giving a refund or doing something to just make it right. And, that's what you do. We have a maintenance program that we just recently launched where we'll go out and clean the condenser coils, do a dryer cleaning, and check on all the appliances. And we do that for $149 a year. And I like the idea of adding some benefits, like a membership benefit, and adding, time to the warranty. I think that's stuff that we'll explore.
Yeah, it just boosted those sales, whenever it kind of adds some more meat on the bone, and this is a way too that you can add a spiff for your technicians to sell. So, it encourages them to go ahead and sell, and it helps them get what they're thinking, like a little tip, it could be like $10 per membership that they sell. They can get a spiff, on, which makes them happy too, because it's something extra that they can get on top of their normal salary. And that's the only thing when we brought up like the condenser cleaning, that's the only thing that we do add into that. We sell a lot whenever we're doing compressor changeouts and stuff like that on our memberships, because it's like, hey, we'll come out yearly. This condenser coil will get cleaned so you don't have any sealed system issues. Is another good selling point whenever you're pushing it, because a lot of people don't realize that they have to do that maintenance on their refrigerator, and they don't want to pull out a heavy refrigerator to do that, because most you have to. So that's a good selling point whenever you're trying to sell, a membership. And you can have different tiers. You can have, if you're just doing appliances, you can have a tier that is base and it doesn't change any warranty or anything. And then you can create different tiers, because I have 3 memberships. I got $100, $200, and $300 membership. So you guys can add it in tiers also. I'm adding more meat on the bone for each individual one. You can have one that automatically comes with a dryer teardown where you're cleaning it inside, or add a water heater flush. You can do multiple different tiers and structure, that way. I have mine where it's bronze, silver, and gold packages. Some companies make names for them, that are different than bronze and stuff. So, but yeah,
I like how simplistic both of you guys made them. I think so many times, like the guys that I've talked to have tried to make it so complicated, myself included in that, right? Like tried to make the warranty program complicated because we're used to dealing with warranty companies, right? So we think, oh, well, we got to do all these things. No. You go out and you check on stuff and you give them a 10% discount on service for throughout the year if they paid the membership or whatever. Like, it's just that simple. And you both said it. So like the way you do that, it's just that simple. It's just that easy to do it. And I love what you said there, Dave. Like, if it's good for the customer, if it's good for the technicians, it's good for the company, right? Minimizing that liability. Not a lot of people realize that that's a good way to recession-proof your company, right? If you're minimizing your liability, it seems counterintuitive that you're spending money, right? Like you're buying these things, and yeah, you're profiting off of it, but it's not like, you're not making 50% margin or whatever, right? You're maybe making 20% margin or 30% margin, whatever. But at the end of the day, you're minimizing your insurance risk, right? And if you're minimizing your insurance risk, that keeps the rates a little bit lower. That keeps your recall rates lower, right? And that makes you more profitable in the long run, which means you're the guy that's going to be there when everyone else has gone out of business. Like, it's just such a small thing, but it has a big impact in the long run. I love the way that you said that, David.
Well, I think Travis hit on something earlier that was customer education. I mean, every customer I go to just about, which again is another reason I love being in the field, so I can touch and feel the customer's, pulse, so to speak, like you mentioned, Zach. Mm-hmm. The ability to educate a customer on what needs to be done, that customer doesn't know it. And it's amazing that they say every time they say, oh, there's maintenance to do on a refrigerator. I mean, I can't tell you how many customers. It's probably 95% of customers. So, I mean, that 5% that actually does maintenance, and that might be generous. You know, the 5% that know that they should do maintenance, maybe 1% actually does it.
Right.
So by educating that customer, even if you don't get the sale on your membership or on your on your maintenance program or whatever you're going for, that customer now knows that needs to be done. And if they go a couple years without doing it, they're going to call you back. And even if it's for another repair, they're going to say, "Hey, I haven't done that maintenance you've talked about. Can you clean those coils for me?"
Right.
And like Travis, we do something for the technicians when we do some add-on maintenance contests between the technicians. So we have a Google chat where everybody in the company can chime in on our chat board, and it's where we kind of give accolades and say, "Hey, great job for this Google review." Or so what we do for the maintenance program is we will actually take the maintenance add-ons like condenser coil cleanings, dryer maintenance, etc., and we'll actually have the technicians chime in on Google Chat on a specific thread and say, "Hey, I just sold a dryer maintenance for this invoice number." And we will tally that up and we'll do a contest where the winner gets $500, the second place gets $300, or we'll do like Travis said, we'll do $20 per maintenance, and then we'll tally it up at the end of the month when we have our store meeting. I'll give them cash. And they love cash, as opposed to putting it in the paycheck and getting taxed and all that. So anytime we do a contest, I really try to pass on cash
Sure.
when I can.
Andrew asks, how many maintenance membership packages are you guys selling a year? Rough average.
Well, we really just started in August, and we've been selling. It's a short period of time, but we've been doing about 15 or so a month so far on average. And it also helps because every customer used to get that 3-year part warranty, 1-year labor warranty. It's kind of, which I never really had a lot of people coming back on warranty because everyone's like, why do you do such a long warranty? And it's all about customer retention. And that's why I'm doing memberships too, is customer retention. The age that we're in now, it's harder and harder to get, especially in larger cities, to get that customer retention because it's so easy just to jump on your phone and go on Google and find the closest person, that has good reviews. And there's a lot of companies that have great reviews, and you're just going to call. You're not going to, oh, what was that company that I used last year? It's
or the quickest.
less. Yeah, exactly.
So, I mean, that loyalty when you can be out there tomorrow versus, waiting 2 or 3 days, it changes. That loyalty level changes.
Yep. And it just plants a seed. Hey, I have 10% off through this one company. So I'm going to make sure I call them back because I know I will get that discount. So just different things that I've tried to implement. It's when you're a business owner, those are the few things that you really want to have is, hey, you want your average ticket to be as high as possible, and customer retention. Those is 2 goals that, should be pretty high on the list. Of course, you want to give great service. You don't want to screw over the customer or anything like that. And like overcharge or something. You don't want to go out on a dryer belt and try to charge $300 for a dryer belt just because you want your average ticket to go up. We want to implement other things that are, good for the customer, memberships, or going through and say, hey, your water lines are bad. Let's go ahead and add that to the ticket, to increase, that average ticket. Not like some companies think, oh, let's just charge $300 for a dryer belt for this old lady just because she needs to get a dryer up and going. Don't want to be that guy. But those are things that there's always room for growth, on those areas and just to brainstorm on what can you implement in your company. Every company is a little bit different, but we're all a little bit of the same. And you can take ideas like David, his is a little bit different than mine, and vice versa, but you can brainstorm, make your own and implement in your business to help out, a lot.
Well, and let's talk about that. 15 customers on average, right? You said about 15. So even at your lowest tier, you just made $2,300 in that 1 month, right? In 2 months, you've made almost $5,000, right?
Yep.
Holy crap, it's a no-brainer. Like, why, and then you've gained a customer for the long run, right? Because you've shown that you plan to be there in the long haul. Doug has a good question here. and this was one of the things that always tripped me up too. Been off the road a long time. Is it more difficult to take the extra time to look at appliances while in a house and complete a full schedule for the day? Now I know, Travis, you're running 4 10s, and you're kind of split shift there, where most guys are running 6 to 8 calls a day, running 8-ish hours a day, give or take. So it might be a little bit different, but I mean, are you guys finding it harder to look at these extra appliances while you're in the house, or no?
Um, I'm trying to give my techs the most amount of space. They start with 6 calls a day. So if they do sell that membership, they have time in their day to do that. If our CSRs know that they're running ahead of schedule, we can add a call, or we can go on the day before's list and scoot that over. And a customer always wants to get done a day early. So I don't overload them at the very beginning of their day where they say, I got 8 calls. I need to power through this day. I have no extra time. It's hard to not fill them up like that, but it for our memberships and stuff. And sometimes we need parts, so they know that, hey, if I have to come back and I don't have the part available, then we'll reschedule it. And then the office knows to extend that, range of when they're going to be out there, just so they have adequate time to go through everything. And it doesn't take that long. And to do everything, we're probably spending an extra 30 minutes, maybe 45 minutes, because we can do multiple things at the same time. So we have the oven preheating while we're having the washer running, while we're cleaning the condenser coils, so the oven can get to temperature. We can check the temperature swings. We can then check to make sure the dishwasher is getting to temperature. There's no leaks underneath it. And that's another selling point, because washers, dishwashers, when they leak, sometimes they'll have a very slow leak, and customers won't know until they have hardwood floor damage or cabinet damage. And that's something, that I'll let them know, like, hey, we make sure that you don't have any small leaks, your condenser coils cleaned, just so you don't have any damage. Because that's one thing a customer doesn't want. They don't want damage in their house. A few times we've worked on a unit where we've seen that there's a small leak under a dishwasher. It's like, hey, you have your wonderful Whirlpool or KitchenAid dishwasher that loves to leak, and we'll give them a cost on that repair. They didn't even know that they needed it, but we just saved them, a claim on their hardwood floor. We had already one of those already, we've tried memberships, before. I just never really pushed it because we didn't have time, because I didn't have the technicians that I have. So that's one thing when you start to kind of scale and you have more technicians to, if you're a one-man show and you're busy all the time and there's no slow seasons, then it's kind of hard to jump into memberships because, like, yeah, you're going to make extra money, but you can go on a new COD and probably make more on that average ticket.
We're
But
gonna
this is
lose you
just,
here, aren't we, David? You're on the jetway, aren't you?
Yeah, I'll stick around as long as I can.
Okay. Yeah, we might lose him. He's hopping on that plane there. Oh. Yeah, no, I mean, there's so much value in whenever you can add value into the customer, right? So we had a question here, Brian. Are the memberships listed on the website? So basically, the way you guys are doing this is is that built into your website? Do you have that as your, or are you just selling it as you're going into the house?
I need to add it. So the way that Service Titan works is it goes ahead and pulls up a whole proposal. So it shows them everything, and then we're able to send over all of the estimates, because we can add that into an estimate. So we have one estimate, which is the repair, and then we'll have an estimate with silver package, with gold package, with, all our different memberships. So they'll, at any call that they go to, there's 4 estimates that get sent out, and then one will be sold, because it'll have, the ones with the memberships will have the repair plus the membership cost. So whenever I hit propose, it gives them the total cost with the membership and the repair. It automatically discounts them because they do get that discount up front with that first repair on our system. And it tells them everything that's included on that. But it is one thing that I do want to eventually get on my website. I just haven't had time to get a hold and get that added to our website. I don't think there's not going to be a huge value. People aren't going to be calling me just because of a membership they saw on my website, but I
Yeah.
would like to have it on there.
No,
Some
it's
companies will make pamphlets of it too, so they can hand out to the customer. But
yeah. Doug is the king of leave behinds, A Action Appliance out there. Those guys are awesome at the leave behind stuff, right?
mhm.
And so that's a great time to do it is in the leave behind. After you've serviced the customer, you leave the folder with all your contact information. And oh yeah, David, it's awesome. That's awesome, bud.
On the plane, baby.
Nice. But yeah, you leave it in the leave behind, and that way, if your technician isn't able to sell it while they're in the house, which most should be able to do that, but some, just customers are customers, right? But it gives them an option that down the road, oh hey, wait, these guys left me this, and they have this membership. Maybe I should call them back. It's that top of mind marketing, right?
Yeah,
And you're not paying anything extra for it because you're already there.
yeah, and I
Hey,
mean,
one thing
go
I
ahead,
was
Dave.
just going to say, if just to switch topics a little bit, but stay on topic. One thing that when I read the topic that I wanted to chime in on is just preparing your business for, success financially, making sure you're protecting your bottom line, making sure that your debt, if you've got any debt out there, whether that's, trucks or
Mm-hmm.
any loans you've taken out for buildings or anything else, you want to make sure that you're protecting that cash flow, because if that incoming cash decreases, are you going to have enough to cover those outgoing payments? As business owners, that's something we always struggle with, and making sure that we, at any given time, if we get a dip in our incoming cash, to make sure you have enough to pay those outgoing bills. So it's definitely a time to pad your savings and decrease your debt as much as possible right now, while we still got the business, still got the service calls. Um, Now, the beautiful thing is our businesses tend to be recession proof,
Mm-hmm.
because these appliances always break. And you could even argue that we become better in a
More
recession
variable.
because,
Yep.
right, because they want to do the repair instead of replacing it. So for
Mm-hmm.
those that don't have sales as a part of their business, you could actually look and turn this into an opportunity by completing more sales, almost like we saw during the pandemic where, appliances weren't available. These appliances may not be available financially for the customers, which will, turn into some more sales. So just a couple tidbits before the plane takes off here.
Your dad was running the company through the last major recession, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. So
And did you
this is
guys
a
see growth in that time? Because there's not a whole lot of guys in our community. There are some, but there's not a whole lot of business owners in our community that are able to speak to that.
I don't think growth is the word, but was definitely able to maintain. My dad wasn't looking to grow the business. My dad was on his way out towards retirement, so that wasn't his goal, but it definitely maintained and did not decline, so to speak, through the recession. Now, what you will lose is some of the easy service calls.
Sure.
You'll lose the, oh, this is making a little noise. They're going to deal with that little noise as long as they possibly can. So your service calls tend to take a little bit more time. Those easy in and outs tend to get less and less, and the really easy repairs are going to be YouTube more.
Mm-hmm.
So plan on a little bit more time, like Travis said. You know, decreasing the overall workload on your technicians will allow them that time to sell the add-ons and get the most out of that ticket that you can. By doing that, you're also decreasing your drive time, which is a huge expense in our world.
For sure. For sure.
Yeah, I mean, whenever my dad was going through, it was the same thing. It was just him and I, whenever we were going through the last recession, and everything was normal, to be honest with you. I mean, could we have grown if he wanted to? Yeah, because people, they're seeing that $2,000 refrigerator and they're seeing a $500 repair bill. Well, can they go buy that brand new $2,000 refrigerator on credit? Yes. Or could they just put the repair on a credit card and it's 500, so they're going to do the $500 repair versus the 2,000 because they don't want to overextend themselves. And you deal with that. But yeah, you'll get a lot of more people that will just YouTube and you just won't get a call. But I know our walk rate was very low during the recession because people the people that were calling were wanting to get their unit fixed. They already had it set in their mind that if this is going to be cheaper than purchasing a brand new unit, we're going to go ahead and go for the repairs.
For sure.
We were selling at that time too. Because we're an LG authorized dealer, people didn't realize to do the tub cleans and stuff like that. With the A-Fresh tablets, and we were getting a lot of units at that time that were just smelling horrible. And we were charging $350 to tear that washer down, clean everything up, and get everything rebuilt back up. And I got so good at it, I was getting that stuff knocked out in an hour, hour and a half, on doing that. And people were purchasing that like crazy. Now, people really won't spend $350 for that. But during that recession time, we were.
For sure. Well, and so what you guys are saying kind of leads into these next two, right? The recession was a great time to find techs because a lot of the trades were laying off. And Alex said he made it through the last recession, but it was rough. But you were mainly doing electric, if I remember right, Alex. So let me know if that's not the case. But now you're doing appliances and electrical, where the last one you were mainly just electrical. So that those two comments kind of lay together and prove the point that David was bringing up.
Yeah, and I think electrical could be hit a lot harder, just looking at the business model. Again, if a customer is not doing a renovation on their house and not doing, there's less new builds, there's the less moving in general, people moving into new houses, less money to put in that electric car charging station, or all of those things are going to take a decline. Where the good thing on being on the maintenance and repair end of things is that's stuff that always needs to happen.
For sure.
Yeah, but the one thing on electrical this go around, if there is a recession, is solar. If you want to get into adding solar panels and stuff like that into homes, same with adding, the fast chargers to the garage and stuff like that, is easy money for electricians. And those aren't going anywhere. The people that are buying Teslas, they're not getting hurt by recessions, so you're going to have work, on that side of things too. A lot of good electricians, they don't want to mess with the rough ends on new builds and stuff like that. That's like beneath them. It's like doing, warranty work for appliance end, when you're working for some of the manufacturers, and you're making $100 a call and stuff like that. One other thing that I would also look into, that we offer too, is customer financing. There's a company out there, it's called Green Sky. They are for home improvement. A lot of HVAC companies use them, electricians, they're one of the largest ones, and they are very easy to get approved, for homeowners. Also, they have like 50 different plans that you can choose from, and that you can offer to your customers. I picked 3 because the fee is different between all of them. But I have like a 6-month no interest, one that is 2.75%. So it's the exact same as, a credit card swipe,
Yeah.
And it's next day funding, and it takes an extra 10-15 minutes to get them approved.
Well, that's kind of what David was saying, keeping that cash flowing, right? You're not taking the liability on that. That's the finance company taking the liability.
Hey, Travis, is the customer doing that, or is the tech doing that?
It's a technician, so it goes through like an iPad and all of that, and all they have to do is have the customer fill it out. We just have to check the license to make sure it is the person that is, applying for it. You go through like a little quick training seminar to be able to start offering the financing. But so the customer fills out all the information, and then it normally takes 5 minutes or so to get information back from Green Sky on what they are, what they're approved for. So the minimum amount to open up an account is $1,000. And I put in, it was an LG compressor, so I do those 1,018, 90 is our cost for LG compressor replacement. I put just $1,200 in. She got a $10,000 open line of credit through them, and she can use that for HVAC repair. any repairs, and it's any repairs that your business does because they approve you for your business. So it doesn't matter what you do, you can sell that. But they have to have at least $1,000 open line of credit, and even if the repair is $300, then they have extra to utilize down the road for any repairs. That's another thing of customer retention. They get approved for that. They know that you use Green Sky, and they have that open line of credit. They're going to call you for other things in the future.
I'm curious if, like, you know, because I know like the buying groups go through like Wells Fargo, Synchrony, stuff like that. And offer customer financing in store when you're selling appliances.
Yep.
I'm curious if Green Sky has some type of program where you could just lump all that into one. It's a topic worth looking into if that's in your business model.
When I asked them, you got the merchant services through them because that's what they are. They're merchant services. So it is anything that you do. So which I feel like is better than like the Synchrony and stuff like that, because they may only allow you to do just like your appliance sales and stuff like that. That was one thing that that I made sure to ask. You know, I was like, is this anything? You can charge a service call fee, you know, on that account and stuff like that, you know, because once they have it, you can just charge, you know, say $85. It sends them an email to approve that charge that's valid. They hit accept, and then you get it right back saying, okay, you know, the transaction's been approved.
That's awesome.
And then you get it the next day, you know, next day funding on everything. So it doesn't matter if you're an electrician, you know, or appliance guy or HVAC and plumber, you know, it's when they approve you, it's for any services or anything that your company does as a business, you know, you can offer that financing.
Cool.
And they have some that are 20%, you know, fees and stuff that you can give the customer, you know, 5 years, no interest, you know, and stuff like that. You know, like there's ones that are really high, but you can choose to just only implement 2 or 3, which our software allows you to bring 3 in. And I just picked the lowest fee for us, of course. You know, I don't want to spend 20%. You know, those for HVAC jobs, and they're selling way over. You know, like it's a $10,000 system that they're selling you for $20,000, you know, and stuff like that. So
nice. Well, we'll have to do a nice oval table with you guys and chat more on recession proofing, because I do want to dig in more. Eventually on what David was talking about, making sure that your bills are paid down, making sure that you have that cash flow going. Do you have the ability to have assets versus liabilities? You know, are you able to have like maybe a coin-op laundry center? Are you able to have like these different things that can be generating you revenue in these times? So it's a great opportunity for us to kind of chat and brainstorm. So maybe we'll do that as like a hot seat kind of thing, round table kind of thing sometime. So I know David's about to take off, and I have to hop off real quick for a meeting, but it's been fun chatting with you guys this morning. I've enjoyed it.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Zach. Appreciate you.
Yeah, safe travels, buddy. Thank you for hopping on and adding in.
Thanks, guys.
Let's go into cooler weather. Let's go up north and deal with a little bit cooler weather. I know the weather here is awesome here in Colorado. We're getting like 65, 68-degree days. It's like perfect.
I can't wait. We haven't gotten the cool weather yet in Florida.
It's 55 here in Chicago, so you know.
Can't wait.
Have a great day, guys.
Have a good one, guys.
Yeah.
Bye.